So if we could start with your full name, please.
My name is Louis J. Manzo. I was born and raised in Wilmington. Uh,
Is that California?
yeah, it's in California. It's San Pedro and Wilmington, the next town.
And
And
what's your birth date?
March the 27, 1924.
3/27/24.
94.
So how old does that make you today?
94.
90.
March the 27th, I was 94 years old.
And which branch of the armed service did you join?
I was in the Army. I got drafted in the Army, United States Army. I registered when I was first week of March, and I checked with my mom. Did the letter come in? Not yet. And then one day, I asked my mom. She just nodded her head. I knew the letter came in. That's it. I got drafted.
And that was in 1943?
1943, the first week of March, and my birthday was the 27th, the end of the month. And like I told you, there was 42 states. Guys came from all over. I said, "Hey, you guys, my birthday is just a number." So I just kept my mouth shut. Forget it. Who they are from all over the United States. Later on, I'll tell them. Not that day.
Not the day to brag. Huh?
No, not a day to brag is right.
So you were 18 when you were drafted.
I was
almost 19.
Almost 19, yeah. I got drafted in March. Well, I was 19 in March. I got 19 years old in March.
And what unit were you attached to in the Army?
I was attached to a Company M 148 Infantry Division from the 37th Division of Ohio. That's where I ended up, the 37th Infantry of Ohio.
That's the Buckeyes,
The Buckeyes. In fact, we went a special ship to Guadalcanal. All the guys who are assigned to the 37th Division was on that ship. Went to Guadalcanal, and I met all kind of buddies with me. And we dug a 4x6 Guadalcanal, and the water came up three times. It was me, Paul Martinez from LA, and Johnny Wabar from LA. So we dug that hole, it quit. The fourth time we dig it, there was no more water, water coming up. So I went first, the first shift, and then Porter Martinez, my buddy, was the second shift, and Johnny Wabar was in the third. So Porter Martinez made sure I was asleep, and then he woke his other guy, Johnny Wabar, getting the church. He woke him up. He slept all night. So in the morning, I couldn't open my eyes. Him and I, and we said yes. The little baby was sound asleep. We all went on the ocean, got him all wet. We got wet too. A wake-up call for him. He slept straight all night. We couldn't open our eyes. We're exhausted. He said, "What are you guys doing to me? How much?" "Yeah, you sure did." He said, "Make sure I was asleep." And then you wake up John Bar, the guy in the third shift. And he slept like a little baby. We knew who it was right there. I said, "We all agree. Let's all go in the ocean." We did. I always remember the 37th Division. All the guys were in there. That's where they gave us what was I say? They gave us a can of, what is it?
Spam?
Oh, Spam. Everybody got a can. We all threw it up. Boo! The Army wanted to be that good to us. They gave us a can of Spam. Oh,
they were spoiling you, huh?
And now they advertise in Channel 2 Spam. I said, "Oh, God, poor people."
Still making you sick today.
Yeah, I said.
Let me ask you, what rank did you attain in the Army?
I was a PFC straight through. I didn't make sergeant. That's PFC, first class. I don't know what they call it. I forget. PFC.
Private first class.
Private first class. That's it. That's all.
And you were discharged in 45. You said 2 days.
In 45, the 23rd of March, 1945. We got discharged here in San Pedro.
December, Dad.
December.
2 days before Christmas.
Yep.
2 days before Christmas. Yes. I had an older sister said, "Go with me, Louis, to Long Beach shopping, the famous." I went with her. Hey, I just got home. Let's go. Yeah. But it was real strange because I never seen people for 3 years. But
And did you receive any medals or awards for your service?
no, I got this. I got a Bronze Star. I was in the Philippines at Manila, the post office. Listen to this. It was me and the captain said, "You guys want to check a case of grenades? Do it early." So I wanted to check a grenades, and all my buddies wanted to go and pop. I told the guys, "You go and pop, but don't come at night, please. It's too damn dark. You don't know who's out there." And that password, you have a password movie star every night, and that night it was Deanna Durbin. So I waited. I told the guys, "You come in the morning, not at night." I don't know the difference. Pitch dark. So then I heard somebody marching, so I waited. And it was the Japs already coming. About 12, 14, maybe 15, I don't know, a lot of them. I could hear them marching. But I make sure they were close enough where I could throw the grenades. If I throw it early, they'd bury me because all by myself.
You were in your foxhole?
No, I was in the Philippine post office. The post office. I was in the post office with a case of grenades. The captain said, "Get them early." I said, "Okay." I got a case of grenades. It got dark, and I heard the marching coming out, and a bunch of Japs. I had to make sure I didn't throw the grenade too soon. They'd bury me. I was all by myself with a case of grenades. They could have buried me good. But I just waited. Make sure that I had the grenades. Make sure I nailed them before they got me.
So how did you know that they were Japanese and not
I heard them
soldiers?
marching.
Right, but
My
that could have
buddies,
been...
my buddies don't march.
They don't march, okay.
They pop all
So
the
did
time.
you challenge them with the password?
Yeah, I told them,
And
Diana Durbin.
And what happened?
They didn't know the password. They said, Diana Durbin. They were Japs. So I waited till they got close enough. They keep marching. Diana Durbin, Diana Durbin. Till the voice sounded real close. And then I threw about 7, 8 grenades. Blew them out. But I don't know how many Japs were. There were a lot of them. I could hear them, but I said to myself, I better not get excited and start throwing grenades. They could have killed me because all by myself, okay? So, wait, the antidote was a movie password that night. And I said, Deanna Durbin. The Jap said, Deanna Durbin. They didn't know it.
No, they didn't know the last name.
They didn't know the last name.
So you're supposed to call the first name,
Yeah,
and they're supposed to
you
respond
say
with the last name.
Anna. They didn't say it. They said Deanna Durbin like I told them.
Got it. So they were just repeating you.
Yeah.
So you knew they
Yeah,
were.
I knew they were Japs because I could hear them marching.
What time of night would you say this was?
It was pitch dark. There's no lights. In fact, the Japs wanted to get the heck out. They wanted to go home. They're
And where
tired.
were all your comrades?
Yeah, they all wanted to go home. All the Japs wanted to get the heck out.
Where were your comrades?
Oh, they went pop. They went pop. I said, don't come at night. Come in the morning, not at night, because I don't know the difference. You guys are the Japs, I said. So they came in the morning. He said, what happened, Mother? You could have been one of them. But it didn't happen, you see. So they were happy about that. They came in the morning. They got scot-free. They could have got nailed, too.
So how close did they get before you started throwing grenades?
I make sure they were real close because I had a case of grenades, and if I throw the grenade early, they know where I'm at. They could bury me.
But how close did they end up getting?
They got close enough where I could throw the grenade. I threw 7, 8 grenades, blew them all out. But I make sure they were close. I didn't want to hear them and throw it right away. No, you have to hear the sound closer to you because I was all by myself.
Was your heart beating pretty fast then?
It probably was. I know, I was getting all excited, but I had to make sure I don't throw a grenade earlier. They know they could burn me. I was all by myself with a case of grenades.
And you said your comrades, they went
and pop.
What does that mean?
They went and drink, whatever it was.
Okay.
I said, don't come at night, please.
They went to go have fun.
Yeah, I said, you have fun, I said, but don't come at night. It's too damn dark. Can't see nothing.
Yeah. Why
Then
didn't you go with them?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't want to go with them.
Why didn't you want to go with them?
No, I'll be by myself. I stayed alone. That's why I got a case of grenades. Check a case of grenades, all by myself.
Yeah.
So I'll go down by myself. But
But you didn't want to go drinking with your buddies.
No.
No, because he was on duty.
I was the only one
Ah,
left.
you got it.
So I was stuck in there. I had to make sure that it was clear. It wasn't clear they showed up. The Japs showed up, hear them marching, but I had to make sure they got close enough.
So tell me about the next morning when the sun came up.
When the sun came out, they say, Manzo, what happened? I said, you could have been one of them too with the Japs. I said,
Did you go to the road or where those guys were marching? Did you see
No, they made rags out of them. All of them got scattered. I threw enough grenades to blow them all up. They were all together. And they came together to make sure they were close enough, and then I threw a grenade. I could have thrown it early, they could have burned me up on myself. So I make sure that the sound sounded real close, and then I threw about 7, 8 grenades.
How quickly did you throw those? Was it one right after another?
Yes,
Yep.
I started rolling them. But I make sure they were close enough.
Ah, okay.
I didn't jump ahead or they could have nailed me.
Yeah.
They knew, oh, there he is.
You had to be patient.
You had to be patient. You go, I was all by myself. So then that company gave me a Bronze Star after. I didn't know that. But I did what I was supposed to do, nail those guys.
Yeah. And you made it home.
Made it a home base.
So let me ask you, let's rewind a little bit. Let's talk about your childhood and growing up. Who were your parents? What were their names?
My dad's name was Francisco Manzo. My mother's name Natalia. They both came from Michoacan. Wait, from Mexico. Jacona, Michoacan. Jacona is a state, Michoacan is a city. And my mom and dad came from there. They had a baby sister, was born in Mexico. She was 2 years old before my mom and dad came to Wilmington. And in Mexico, the tradition they have, the saint name, that's your name. The saint name that day is born, that's your name. And I said, well, we'll name John, we'll name my sister Carmen Pascuala. My mother said, told my dad, I'll call him Carmen. I had to call her Carmen. But they don't get in the men's case. The women chew the women up because broke tradition. My mom was out to call her Carmen. Pascuala was her saint name. My mother said, I don't like that. Told my dad, I don't call her Carmen. My dad called her Carmen. They don't get it on the men, the women. That's a tradition they have in Mexico. They chew you all up. So then 2 years later, my sister Carmen comes to Wilmington with my dad and mom. And I was born in Wilmington. And my saint name was Gilberto. My mother said, I got a brother named Luis. My dad said, name him Luis. And there goes the lady from Wilmington, from Mexico. Tradition got in her case because Gilberto was my real name. My mother said, I got a brother named Luis. My dad said, name him Luis. They don't get it in the women. That's a tradition they have from Mexico. And they had a lot of Mexican ladies from Mexico and Wilmington. They got over my mom's scared, but my mom felt good because my dad said, go ahead. Then my brother Tony, his name could have been Cayetano, said, I got a brother named Antonio. My dad, name Antonio. You know, my dad didn't bother. They didn't bother men, the women.
So how many siblings did you have? How many brothers and sisters
I have 2 sisters and 5 brothers. I'm the only one left. I had a sister 2 years older than I was. That was me, my brother Tony, Ignacio, Frank, and Hank. Baby brother, he's about 7 years younger than all of us. And we're down the line.
So you're one of 9.
Yeah, we're year and a half apart after me.
Where do you fall in line?
I was the first one, the oldest boy, me. And then Tony, Ignacio, Frank, and Hank. We're all year and a half apart. So I lived in East Wilmington. Listen to this. And this Mexican lady 3 houses down from our house. My dad, you're in charge of your brothers. You're the oldest. You're 10 years old. Okay, Dad. Go outside. The lady starts, weren't even close to her. I thought she was cussing me and my brothers out. She said, Escalera. Oh, shit. I said, uh-oh. I threw my brothers back in the house. I told my mom, this lady 3 doors down. They hollered, escalera, the scale. I don't know what it was. I thought it was a bad word. Escalera, we're near close to our house. That's what really teed me off. We're all my brothers are a year and a half apart. Down the scale, I was the oldest, you see. I never told my dad. I told my mom what happened. My mother said, Reese. She went like that. Do, re, a scale in Spanish. I don't know what that word. I never heard that word in my life. But I thought she was cussing me and my brother. Ah, Jesus Christ, we're even close to her house. Big scandal. My mother said, Reese, that's my name in Spanish. Do, re, I lit up like Christmas Eve. That's a scale in Spanish. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a word in Spanish. That name scale. That's my do, re, I lit up like a Christmas tree.
So can I ask you, growing up in the Great Depression, did you guys experience any hardships?
Huh?
Growing up
No.
during the Great Depression.
No, we got along really good. My dad got a job at the boards company right away. That was great. He had a job. We had to buy my dad a sack of beans, a sack of flour. Mom made tortillas all year round for all of us. We love tortillas. But that it just happened by luck, you know. That's how we grew up.
And did you start working at a young age? Did you have any jobs that you were doing to help
Let's
contribute?
see, no. I graduated. No, I got drafted.
No, but when you were growing up before you got
No,
drafted.
no. We used to. My dad. I was I was 12 years old. My dad, I'll teach you how to plow. I said, Dad, I'm 12 years old. I'll teach you how to plow. I did learn that day. The old man got in my case. I thought, well, 12 years old, get off light. Now with my dad, you will learn today. I did. So my dad ran a team of horses in Compton, whatever it was. 2 or 3 days, I had to plow for my different people for my dad. They gave him so much money to plow their field.
So what were some of the things you did for fun growing up?
I had much fun. I had to work all the time. My dad has in the cornfield, all the tomatoes and all over the
So
place.
what were you working on? What did you do for work?
Oh, for work, let's see. I graduated. Let's see. Oh, I got a part-time job with E.K. Woods in Long Beach, lumberyard. I was 18. I was graduated from Banning already, so something, you know. But that's it. It wasn't much, you know what I mean. A job was a job at that time. There's hardly no work, so that's how I learned a little bit of this and that.
Did you play any sports at all?
I played for the high school. I played football, and I went out for track by last year, senior. I didn't go out for track like the regulars, but my football coach said, Manzo, come here and try 220. What's that? I didn't know what they're talking about. Then the 80, and I placed good in those two races. So then varsity coach, Manzo, you come out for track. I had never ran track in my life. I was a senior already. You come out anyway. Oh my God. So Gardena High School was playing at Banning, and the starter wasn't there yet. So my football coach started the track, you know, for the guy because he hadn't arrived yet. And we were playing against Gardena, so I was going to run the 80, and I asked the guy from 80, the guys about 3 or 4 of them. I said, "What's your best time at 80?" He said, "Listen to this. 2 minutes flat." I started throwing. I got scared. 2 minutes flat. I never been clocked at that 80, 2 minutes flat, so I started throwing up. So my football coach said, "You guys want to give this guy from Banning another chance?" I already jump started because I threw up. I got all nervous. Jump to start. Yeah, coach, let him run. I came in first. I came in first after God followed me because, and then I threw up from Wilmington all from the school all the way till I got home. I told my mom what happened. I got so sick. I won. I beat the guys from Gardena. I never ran track in my life. They didn't know how fast I had to run.
Yeah.
I threw up right away, and yeah, let him run, coach. I came in first.
There you go.
But
What position did you play in football?
a running guard. We had the single wing, and nothing but blocking. You had to block. You had to learn how to block real good, or they'll replace you.
And that was before you had proper helmets, right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I had to learn the hard way. I never played football in my life, but a sport, you know. But I learned the hard way. You have to learn attack below the knees. You learn it quick.
Mm-hmm.
Not below the knees. Nail the guy. Uh, Either fake the guy to left, right. You have to come up with different plans. Not the same thing to burn you. You have to go this way and then instead of fake this, get this side, and that throw that guy out. Instead of having two guys nail, just one guy will nail you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not sure if he did the right thing or not because you didn't take both of them. You shifted.
So did you end up graduating from high school?
Yes, I graduated in 1942 from Banning, California. They built a new school down the line. It's still there, but the old school is in Avalon and PCH. That's the old school, old Banning High School.
So that was a few months after the war had started.
Yes, Phineas Banning High School is the name of the school.
So let me ask you: do you remember when Pearl Harbor was attacked? Do you remember where you
Yes,
were?
I was 17 years old, and they bombed Pearl Harbor. I never heard where Pearl was, Pearl Harbor. I was 17 years old. Before I turned around, I was in the Army, 19 years old.
Yeah, but where were you on that day?
I was home, but I don't know what's going on. So I have three sons, and Larry and Tom asked me, "Where would you like to go after the war?"
Yeah.
I said, "I'd like to go to the Pearl Harbor." I was in a troop ship. They said, "This Hawaiian island, you could see it like little warm." That's how small Hawaii was. So that's where I like to go. Those guys were off Sunday, Pearl Harbor, and the Japs were shelling them. They were off that day. They didn't know there was a war going on. They were knocking the heck out of them. I felt so sad. That's why I wanted to go to Hawaii, to Pearl Harbor. Those poor guys on a Sunday, go to church or whatever. You're off that day.
You wanted to pay your respects.
Yes, that's right. So my kids took me to Hawaii.
So when you were at home on December 7th, 1941,
I was 17.
Did you hear on the radio? How did you hear that Pearl Harbor had been attacked?
On the radio.
And what did you think?
I don't know what to think. I never heard Pearl Harbor. What's that? Before I knew I was in the Army, 2 years after I was in.
Because we were at war immediately after.
Yeah, after. I didn't know that. But I was 17 years old when that happened, Pearl Harbor. I don't know Pearl Harbor, what's that? What's going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Green behind the ear, and what happens so quick.
Sure.
Like I said, and I told my oldest second son Larry, and my younger son Tom, that's why I go to Hawaii to see the guys that survived in Hawaii. They were off that day. They had no idea there was a war going on. And the Japs were just shelling the heck out. They didn't know there was a war going on.
So what were you doing for the 16 months between when the war started and when you got drafted?
I signed up for my draft board.
But were you working?
I was going to high school.
Yeah.
And
after you graduated high school.
After graduate,
you got drafted.
I signed up for the draft.
No, you got drafted.
The next year.
But that was a year after you graduated high
Yes,
school.
after I graduated. Yes, 1 year after.
So in that year's time, how did you spend that time? What were you doing?
Odd jobs, working a little bit here, over there. Nothing study, nothing that I like, but make some money. That's all. That's it. And like I told my son number 2 and Tom, that's why I like to go to Hawaii, to see those poor guys that were off. They didn't know what the war was going on, and Jazz was just shelling the hell out of them. They didn't know it.
So you mentioned earlier the day that your letter arrived, your draft notice arrived.
Yes, my mother, Dad didn't ask her, was a letter arrived. She just nodded her head a little like a Christmas tree. That letter came in that day.
So you were anticipating a letter coming.
Yes.
Every day you would ask your
Every
mother.
ask her every day, except that one day I didn't ask her. She just nodded her head a little. I lit up like a Christmas tree. That letter came in that day. Yeah, so I got drafted. I got drafted the first week of March. My birthday was the 27th of March, like I told you, the experience I ran through. 42 states to put them all together like a bunch of chickens or chickadees, whatever you want to call
And lucky you, you
them.
got
I
picked.
say, hey, it's my birthday. What you say? They ain't bothered. You know, everybody's all excited that you got drafted, that's it. You got to check in like everybody else. You get
So
turned.
how did you feel once you received your draft notice,
I
knowing that you'd have to join?
had to go, serve my time. That's it.
But what
That's
do you
it.
remember? What thoughts you had?
No, I had to go in the army. That's it.
It was your duty.
Yeah. So that first week of March, my birthday was the 27th of March. Like I said, hey, you guys, my birthday. I just a number. I just kept my mouth shut. I said, hell with that. I had to know the guys first. I can tell them my birthday. But it's 42 states. That's a lot of guys from all over the United States, you know. I just kept my mouth shut. Hell with that shit.
And were any of your brothers? Did they join the service?
The brother below me, he was a year and a half younger than me. He was going to graduate from Banning that June, and he got drafted. He sent him to Germany. He's going to be 18 in August. They could draft him to Europe.
So you got drafted, and then a few months later, your younger brother got drafted.
Yeah, that's right. My brother Tony and me were a year and a half apart. So like I said, I had 5 brothers who were all down the line, except my youngest brother, but 4 of us were a year and a half apart. So that lady that I was telling in East Wilmington, I don't know what, I thought she was cussing me out, my brother, so I threw them all in there. I told my mom, no. My mom said, no, Luis. Scale in Spanish, she went, do, re, mi. I went like a scale. Not knowing, I said, oh my God. I never heard that word. I thought he was cussing me and my brother. So, hey, hold it.
So let me ask you, where did you go for boot camp? Where did you do your basic training?
Oh, let's see. Oh my God, wait. I'll tell you right now. Felia, let me ask my wife. Felia, where's my wife?
She's coming. It's in Washington, Dad, wasn't it? Where was this the basic training at, Mom?
Larry.
Washington? It's basic training.
Where's my train I had?
Paso Robles.
Oh,
Paso Robles.
there it is. Paso Robles. Paso Robles is about 123 miles from Wilmington. So there was 2 guys from Wilmington, 2 guys from Pedro. We used to go home and visit my parents. I didn't tell my parents how far I had to go to visit them. Paso Robles said, where you want to go? Paso Robles. They give me the pass, but you stay that town. I left. We checked our cars, gas, and go 243 miles to Wilmington. 2 guys from Peter went 237 to see their folks. I didn't tell my folks how far I went to visit them. I figured by the end of my rope anyway, I'll probably never see them. So that's the reason I kept my mouth shut, visit my mom and dad for the last time for me.
You took every chance you could get.
Yeah, exactly. But Paso Robles, that's how far it was.
Yeah.
I didn't tell how far I'd go to visit him. I kept my mouth shut. I'll probably never see him again, so I kept my mouth shut. We all did.
So did you have any memorable experiences of your basic training?
No, that's it. That's the only experience I had. That of all the 4 guys, I'm the only one left. Carpool and all that, only one left. That just happened that way. That's all.
Can you can you talk about some of the things that you learned?
Basic training, yeah. I learned how to take care of my gear. Whatever checkout belongs to you. It's under your name. So take care of business. So always remember that. But that Paso Robles is a small little town, and I used to go that far. I told my dad I traveled 234 miles to come visit your mom. I didn't say nothing. Paso Robles, give you a pass. Right there in town. Go all the way.
So when did you eventually get shipped out? When were you sent overseas?
I was sent overseas, 3 months later. They put us in a bus. It took us to San Francisco, boarded the SS Harris, that ship, SS Harris ship, and we were leaving, he said, by San Francisco 1946, and the war in 1945.
Golden Gate 48.
We just had a slogan, something to say, get by.
So do you remember the last time that you saw your parents before you were shipped out?
Yeah, before I went overseas, yeah.
Do you remember that day? Do you remember what you said to them and what they said to
No,
you?
I didn't say nothing about going overseas. I just kept my mouth shut.
Did your parents say anything to you?
No, they didn't. They didn't know. I didn't tell them.
But they knew that you were going to war.
Yeah, I know. They knew that, but I didn't tell them. I tell them after I was over there that I'm over here in Guadalcanal, this and that. You know what I mean? Hey, they have enough family, and let them know, brag about it, or just tell them where you went. So that's it. That's why I looked at it. But I went to SS Harris, 37th Infantry Division from Ohio. I said it won Guadalcanal, and we got that guy, that guy, a good friend of mine. He already died. But he slept, make sure I was asleep, wake that other guy, third shift. He slept all night like a little baby, and we both couldn't even open our eyes. We threw him out in the ocean with us. So what are you guys doing? I have my, yeah, you sure did. And we got along good after that because he went first. That was the item. Put him first. We all slept like babies.
So Guadalcanal was your first stop in the Pacific.
Yes, Guadalcanal was my
You
first.
guys bypassed Hawaii altogether.
Yeah, we sure did.
So you got a glimpse of Hawaii from
From there, like I was telling my
pretty small.
Yeah, real small, and I felt so sorry for those guys off that day. They were getting shell bombed. They didn't know what the war going on. They were knocking the heck out of them, shelling, strafing. Poor guys. I felt so sad for those poor guys.
Were you thinking about all those sailors that lost their life that day when you were passing them by?
Oh, yeah, sure did. They didn't even know what to kill them. Well, that's what it was.
So
Just out to bury you completely. They didn't care.
So when you arrived in Guadalcanal, the fighting was all over there.
Yes.
You guys were there to do more training and prepare?
No, that's it. Just get ready and go. That's it. You hit 13 months training, that's it. You're a regular soldier, that's all.
So how long did you spend on Guadalcanal? Roughly.
Where did we go after that? We spent some time, I tell you. Oh, went to the Philippines. No, went to what's the name of that?
Bouganville.
You went to Bouganville after.
Yeah, Bouganville.
But how long were you on Guadalcanal before you went to Bougainville?
Guadalcanal.
How long were you on the island for? How long did you see Guadalcanal?
I'm trying to
How long were
think.
you in Guadalcanal for, Paul?
I'm trying to think
6
now.
months, a year?
Couple months?
Well, a couple months, I guess. It wasn't too long. That's what went in Bougainville.
And you mentioned it was pretty wet and damp there.
Yes.
Was there a lot of rain?
Yeah, a lot of rain. And one thing that my son, younger son Tom, has a video about how the Marines captured Guadalcanal. And there was a Japanese lieutenant colonel or general, whatever it was. He was supposed to undermine the Marines, and they beat him to his game. The Marines buried him and everything. That was a turning point right there. A Japanese guy who was trying to be like Hitler. He took all the island, took everything. There's nothing on the island, but they took control all the little islands. So yeah, GIs had to take island by island because the Japs were all over the place. That's the sad part about it. See? They thought they could control everything. It backfired on them. That's one thing they found out the hard way. But the Marines, like the Navy, they volunteered for that service. They didn't get drafted like I did. They volunteered to be a Marine, or volunteered to be a sailor. They didn't get. They joined the Navy or the Marines. That's it. And us, we got drafted. You get drafted, you put in your time. That's what happened to me.
So tell me about the day that you guys got orders to move out, and you ended up in Bougainville.
Bougainville, they told us to, let's start going to Bougainville, went there for a whole year. We had a outfit from Australia, regiment. We got along good. They teased about our tea, our coffee, teased them about their coffee, their tea, and we got along good. Then there's a color outfit attached to us too. After we secured the whole place, then from there we went to Luzon, the Philippines.
But talk about the time that you spent on Bougainville.
At the time I spent in Bougainville, I spent a whole year.
What were you doing during that
Well,
year?
we secure. We had that Japanese guy drop that bomb, like I was telling you, and one of the guys in the Air Force, Army, shot him down. We were so happy. He could have dropped it in our head for all we know. It's just stupid, on his behalf. But they, like American guy on an airplane, and shot that guy down.
So he'd come by every night dropping a bomb.
Yeah, we don't know where he's gonna drop it. So just worry about it. It's pitch dark. We had machine gun rifles. That's not. You have to have a good weapon to bring that airplane down. So that's what happened. That's what happened.
So did you engage the enemy on Bougainville?
We secured the Bougainville. They're scattered. They wanted to get out of there too. And we got them out of there.
But this was your first experience.
Yes, at Bougainville. Very experienced. It was at Bougainville. We cleared the area, and we secured it. And then they put a airstrip, and that's what's we put airstrip. That's what got it going. The United States got an airstrip. We landed our planes and everything. You just keep on going. That's it. Secure the whole island.
And when you guys landed on the island, did you experience any resistance?
A little bit when you first got to Bougainville, but they wanted to get out too. They wanted to get the heck out of there.
Sure.
The Japs, they wanted to go home too, I guess.
So what did you experience?
Well, my experience with those guys that they'll bury you, get a chance, they'll bury you, but we stuck together like glue.
Were they shooting at you? Were they firing mortars? What?
No, they just mostly weapons, automatic weapons they had, and we got along good. We took care of them after. That's one thing. They didn't have many mortars. We had them, so that's how we got them. 81 millimeter shells. So
And where were you sleeping at night?
and foxhole. That's it. That was our bed. Foxhole. Since I went in, bunks. What's that? I've never heard of bunks or cots. Dig a foxhole 4x6. That's it. That's your bed right there.
And would you share a foxhole, or would you have one to yourself?
Oh, one myself. We just share one foxhole. Everybody makes digs their own hole, but we line ourselves, whatever it is, real close to each other. We're going to go down, we'll all go down. Not separate away 10, 15 yards. No, you have to stay close like everybody else. You have to stay like a group to survive. You have to stay like a group to survive because they see that they'll nail you.
So you had to rely on the guy to your left and the guy to your right.
Yes, that's it.
Did you become pretty close with some of those guys?
Yeah, we came. I mean,
Did,
Japs.
no, did you become
Oh yeah,
close with your comrades?
yeah, like brothers. We go down together. Go up, we all go down. That's that's attitude I had everybody else. All stick together like glue.
So you were willing to put your life on the line.
Yes, you have to stay close to each other. That's like brothers. You have to do that to survive. You can't do it by yourself. You need help. And help we got. We got a lot of good help. They all wanted to help each other so that makes it easier. We have to worry about, hey, stick close to us. We did that automatic. We had to keep the guys separate from us. Yeah, stay real close to cover each other. That we did.
Now, was it constant combat, constant fighting daily?
And in the Philippines, yes. Not in Bouganville, we secured that right away.
That happened pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
real quickly. But Luzon, it was wide open. Everything was wide open.
That's when it got a bit nastier.
Yeah, that's right. And Japs all over the place. In fact, I thank the Air Force, not the Air Force, the guys on flat top used to call our artillery, give us a target before we go back to the ship. And that was artillery told them exactly put smoke shells where the enemy, because the army, that rifle company, lets you know where all the Japs are recruited, stay together, right there. They used to do that for us. I always helped them, thank them for it. They volunteered to help us thin that enemy out. And we got a good night's sleep that night. They knew they got all together to shell the heck out of them, you know what I mean? But they volunteered on their own to do that for us. We thank them for that. I always remember that. They didn't have to do that. They go back to the ship. But they wanted to help us. And the artillery used to give the shell, smoke grenade for the Japs were. Straight from right out. We got a good night's sleep every night because they got the Japs all together, piled up.
So how long after you had landed on Bougainville that you guys secured the island?
Within a year.
Do you know about?
And then went to Luzon, the Philippines.
Do you know about how long it was?
No.
Did it take the entire year?
What's that?
Did it take the entire year to secure the island?
Yes. We got Luzon. It took us close to a year in Luzon. It was bigger. It was bigger.
Water though?
No, tell them about MacArthur.
Oh, I always got to say about General MacArthur. Listen to this. MacArthur, I shall return. And all the GIs said, what? How about us? He said, I shall return. The whole army was behind him. And he said, I shall return. I told that to my wife. General MacArthur said, I shall return, not we. He should have said, we shall return. He had a whole army of guys fighting the war, and he said, I shall return. I shall. Everything was him, not us, him.
Well, because he left the Philippines and he left everybody else behind.
That's right. He didn't say that, but he should have said, we shall return, because we were with him, fighting under his colors and all that. He said, I shall return. We all used to laugh about it and say, oh, look at this guy. It's General, I shall return. How about the rest of us?
So when he did return, you have a story about that, right? Involving the Red Cross?
I didn't know that. That's the first time I heard that. I knew that always everything he said, I shall return.
But you were telling me earlier that when you guys were told that General MacArthur was coming back, the Red Cross came and they offered you some shaving cream and some razors.
Oh my God, that was a long time ago. I didn't know razor blades. Well, they offered some. That's right. I always remember that. I don't know where they got the razor blades. You know what I mean? That's it.
But what happened when they gave you the razors?
Well, I thanked them for it. We have no money to buy, shaving gear and all that. They gave it. The Red Cross gave us that. That was nice.
Uh-huh.
But you have to be by the Red Cross when they hand out the stuff. I didn't know that. But we just so happened to be there, and they had us shaving equipment and all that. We felt pretty good about it. You see, we hear about it. Nobody invites you, well, you're out of it. But I always remember that. That's one site that I always remember the Red Cross came through with that. That was something I never give it a second thought of the Red Cross giving you shaving gear and all that. Because you have a beard every day, that's all. You can't be shaving every day because you look sharp. You just survive.
You're not worried about looking good.
No, hey, you look to see the sun come up the next day. That's how we used to fight together, to see the sun come the next day if possible.
Did you have any close calls?
Yes, I had a lot of close calls. But one thing you think about after everything's over, it wasn't your turn. They could have nailed me. Close calls, snipers and everything. It wasn't, your name wasn't on there, that's all.
Can you tell me about some of the things that you experienced?
The snipers, I had experience with sniper. You don't know where they're from. Smokeless powder, you know where you just go by the thumb, boom, that's it, it's over. So it's just luck, just mere luck that we survived some of that because we had no idea where the guys are at. They spotted you and they poking at you, but you don't know where they're hide real good. You don't know where they come from.
Now, I heard that they'd hide in the tops of the palm trees sometimes.
Yeah, they probably did. But like I said, you don't know where the shots come from. That's just scary. You don't know where. You hear it, it went by, and it came from that direction over here, front. It happened that quick. So you're just lucky. You thank you, Lord, the sun went down. Thank you, God, for the next day. Day at a time, that's all. You just saw it sticking out your neck. Maybe somebody take a pop shot at you. You have no idea. You're just out there out in the open. They know you're out there. And we know we're out there someplace too, but we don't know where they're at. They were there before we got there. So that's the advantage they had on us. They were there already. We weren't there. We had to work ourselves around there.
Now, were they hiding out in any caves or underground tunnels at all?
Yes. They're hiding all over the place. But that's a chance you take. You go in a strange place, you don't know where they're at. You have to be ready. You have to be ready. Hope you clear it out. That's all. No idea, but that's a chance you have to go out there like a sore thumb. It's just luck. That's all. That's all I got to say because they had real good snipers. They had exactly where you're at and everything. That's so sad. I know where you're at.
They're waiting for you.
Yeah, waiting for you. So you have to be extra careful too that when you open fire, make sure you hit something. Let them know that you want to get even with them. That's all. That's all you can do.
Now, did you lose any close friends over there?
Let's see. Well, I lost a lot of friends, but we're all together. I know who they are. We're all American soldiers, you know what I mean? You just go fight every day, hope you survive. That's all. Stick together as a group and hope you survive every day. That's all you can do.
And did you think of home? Did you get homesick at all?
Well, a little bit, but not that much because you have to look out for yourself. You have to look out for yourself. You haven't got time to think about home because you're not at home. You're overseas. You're out in the toolies. You know what I mean? So that's the sad part about it. Your folks are home. You're over here.
So is it safe to say that you're almost living in an alternate reality?
Yes, entire different living. You don't know what. you don't know someone to take a pop shot at you. You don't know from where or what. You have to be ready.
It's almost like you're in a different world.
Exactly. Area where they can take a good shot at you. Wide open. They know you're out there. We know they're out there too. So that's what makes it pretty even, back and forth. That's about that way it really on both sides, their side and our side too. We look for ourselves too, but you have to look out for your buddies next to you, and they look after you. You have to work together.
So how often were you able to change clothes?
You don't. You had the same clothes I came home with. That's it. The same clothes, get wet, get muddy, whatever, they dry, you just keep on going. You had no extra pair of pants, it's just what you're wearing. Your uniform all year round, that's it.
So what about showering?
What's that? Shower. The only thing we enjoy, like in Guadalcanal and some of those islands, they have as a little river, got all wet. They enjoy that. That's close they got to the shower room.
And this is when you're not fighting.
That's when they're not fighting, right? But they enjoy it because that's it. You can't stay in the water forever. You have to keep on going, secure the island. That's it.
So were you able at nighttime or at any time, were you able to rest? Were you able to get any quality sleep at all?
You sleep when you can. And you have to have a good group to keep a sharp eye on each other. But it's hard. Everybody's dead tired. And you can't go to sleep because that's it. It's over. You have to keep everybody to each his own. That's what it is. You have to keep alert. Your buddies close to you, you look out for yourself too, because you don't know who's going to take a pop shot. You're on knees. You're not relaxed. You can't.
You're just
Out there,
constantly on edge.
you have to constantly be on your toes because you don't know who's going to pop shot you. That's it. That's the sad part about it. You can't relax.
So after the time you spent on Bougainville, where did you go from there?
Oh, went to Luzon.
You went directly to Luzon,
Yes.
or you had?
We went direct to Luzon. Had a little pamphlet how to speak Tagalog. That's the main language. I just spoke pretty good, and then after I forgot. But the Filipinos want to stay with. I told them, you stay home. Your family. We have to take care of ourselves. You take care of your family, we'll take care of you, and the best we can. I said, but you can't stay with us. I said, told them to go home.
They wanted to join you guys and help you fight.
No, we can't do that. Yet, Army guys stick together like glue. That's it. We got that point across to them. They wanted to help us. You just stay with your family wherever you're at. That's it. That'd be fine. That's it. Army guys have to stick together like glue. That's it. That's all we got. What we have, that's it. So yeah, you haven't got time to babysit this and that. You have to take care of your buddies. They take care of you. You take care of them. They'll fight as a group. That's it.
And you mentioned the fighting on Luzon was a bit more intense.
Yes, more intense. There was more people, bad people, Japs all over the place. There were Japs all over the place. All the islands have Japs.
And how much time did you spend on Luzon?
Luzon until the war ended. Like I told you, the end of April, I was in Luzon. They put us in a boxcar like cattle, took us to Luzon and dumped us over there. And the end of April, the 20th of April, they dropped the atomic bomb in Japan. And the second, they surrendered. War's over. Had a brother in Europe. He's home. He can wait for him to come home too, like we did. But the second bomb, they surrendered. Japs surrendered. In fact, the Jap in charge of Japan want to be like Hitler. and Japan side. He was sick in the head, but that's the way he was. Me, took all islands. There's nothing in the island. He just took over. That's all. To show off his rank or whatever you want to call it. But the Marines took Guadalcanal and they nailed him right there. But Marines put a air base, and that's it. Sealed the whole thing. They took care of him. They sealed him off, cut him off there. The pass. And the Japs didn't do nothing after that. They got nailed right there.
So what type of food were you eating while you were overseas?
Sea ration, Kansas. I ate sea ration for 2.5 years until I got out of the service. Our stomach was so small, like I said, they took us to Riverside and treated us to steak and all with 2 ribs. They threw it up, a cardamom with anything that like civilian people have. We couldn't hold it. We ate sea ration cans for 2.5 years. Our stomach was this small.
So you must have lost a significant amount of weight.
Yes, I lost a lot of weight. I was a real big man. I was 100, close to 200 pounds. But not no more. It's a sack of bones, that's all. That's it. You just hang in there your best you can, that's all. I was real big when I first went in the service. A sack of bones after me. That's it. Like you say about changing clothes, that's the same clothes I went in as the same ones I came on with. You just wear the same pants, if soaking wet with dry, whatever, you just keep on going. We had no extra pants to like other people. That's it. What you wear, that's your uniform. That's what we had.
So it's safe to say you didn't have any luxuries
No,
to speak of.
no, we didn't have nothing. Just what you're wearing, that's it. Pair of pants all year round, or 2 years, whatever, until the war ended. We had no new clothes. Hey, here's some new clothes. What's that? You just dry, wet, you just keep on going.
And did you experience any diseases or?
No. Well, we had experience of malaria.
Uh-huh.
Did I get malaria? I think I got malaria. Did I get malaria, Fidel?
Yeah.
Oh, when I came home, I got malaria. Not when I was in there. When I came home, I got malaria. So I had to go to the veterans to help me, get me back in track. I had malaria. I didn't know that. Everybody has malaria in the system, but I didn't get it until after I got out of the service. That's just hard to gripe about it. It's over. I'm out of the service, got malaria. I didn't get it in the service. I got it after I got out of the service. That was a sad part, you see. Yeah, I got malaria.
I understand that jungle rot was
Yeah, that's right.
a big issue as well.
That's right, but I didn't know. I didn't get it until I got out of the service. I got malaria.
Yeah.
That's it. I had it real bad. In fact, I had malaria for a whole year when I got out of the service. I had malaria. I had to go to the doctor, this and that. I was still sick anyway, but I got malaria after I got out of the service. That's the worst part about it. Not while I was in there. After I got out of the service, I got malaria. That's the sad part about it. Nothing you can do about that. It just came out of your system, and that's it.
But you were home and safe.
Home and safe, that's right.
So you had to look at the bright side, I guess.
That's the bright side of the whole thing. Malaria, I got home. I got malaria after I got out of the service. Glad I was home. That's it. That's the only way I looked at it. That's it. It just happened that way. Not while I was in the service. After I got out of the service, I got malaria. I got real bad.
So you were on Luzon when the war had ended.
Sir?
You were on Luzon when the war had ended.
Yes. See, what was it? Oh, I was in Luzon when the war ended. Like I told you, in Naples, they dropped the atomic bomb. The second one, they surrendered.
Yep.
War's over. That was the best news of my life. And Uncle Sam sent a target to my folks that we're going to arrive in the United States, but I didn't say where, okay? So this friend of mine, his brother was in my brother Tony's class, a guy a year and a half younger than me, told me where I was at. So my mom told him that he's with Louis. My dad go, let's go. Uncle Sam just went world around the United States, that's it. But my mom and dad came with the captain said, you have company, you have to get permission from the captain. So when I got permission from the captain, my mom and dad would come visit me. Good. So then down below the guy with a rifle. So you can't leave him like over the hill. I want to get discharged. I want to get the hell out of here. We'll make a stop sign. You can have somebody else. I'm going home. I got discharged 2 days before the Army for Christmas. So that's it. I'm done. I put in my time. I said, I'm getting out of here.
So how did you hear that the war had ended? How did you get word? Who told you?
That second shell, they surrendered.
Right, but who told you that the fighting was over?
When you were on the island.
Myself, the second shell, Japan surrendered.
Correct.
The second bomb, that was it. That convinced me.
But how did you know that that second bomb had been dropped and that
Oh,
Japan had
they let
surrendered?
us know. The Army let us know. The first bomb, nothing. The second, Japan surrendered.
So after you found that out,
Yes. I was real happy. War's over.
did you guys celebrate?
No, not much to celebrate, that's all. But we were happy we were home. Coming home now. I had a brother that was a year and a half younger than me. He was in Europe. He had to go to Japan. He can come home like me. That's it. Everybody has a chance to come home. I always remember that. I was the happiest guy on earth when that second bomb said Japan surrendered. That's it. We just get ready to go home. That made me so happy. The second shell, they finally convinced Japan that the United States meant business. And they surrendered.
And you mentioned you made it home just before Christmas.
2 days before Christmas.
And you had spent, I'm looking back here. So you had spent a Christmas overseas.
Yes. I was going to spend another.
2 actually.
Yes. Sea Reservoir for
So
2 years. Yeah.
What were those Christmases like?
Sad. You never survive to come home or not, or survive. It's so sad because you're overseas. You don't know you're going to come home or not. You know the guy's going to pop you or not. It's war going on. You don't know who's going to nail you. You just day at a time. That's all. Pray and hope, stick together like glue, like the rest of us. That's how we got along. We all stick together like a machine.
Did you ever think you weren't going to make it home?
No, I had no idea of that. I was just trying to survive. That's the key, survive. It's the main thing, survive. That's the main thing. You can't say, well, we're going to go home pretty soon. You don't know that. You know, there's a pop shot waiting for you, your name on there. So you have to just day at a time, day at a time, day at a time.
So how did it feel to be able to spend that Christmas 1945 with your family?
I enjoyed it. War's over. Everybody come home. That's the best part. Then my older sister said, Louis, go shopping with me at the Famous. And yeah, I'll go with you. And civilian, get a chance to see civilian people. And I got one with it. She wanted me to go and went. I enjoyed myself. I don't know what was going on, but I was there. She enjoyed it, so I enjoyed it too. Being home shopping with her, I don't know what she was going to buy with her.
You just wanted to find some sense of normalcy again.
That's all. That's all.
Was it hard for you to adjust back to civilian life after spending so much time away?
No, you fall in line. You find it. You're okay after that. You have to go to war no more. That's the best part right there. Page 1 right there. It's over. That's the best part, that the war's over. You have to worry about where you're going to go. Is somebody going to waiting for you to take a pop shot at you? It's over. That's the best part of the ending of the war. Like I said, the second bomb, Japan surrendered. That was it. And in fact, it said Japan, that Jap trying to be another Hitler. Look what happened to Mussolini. Trying to do the same like Hitler. They hung him up. that took care of him. Hey, treat people like people. He's trying to play like Hitler, they nailed him. They hung him up, that's it. There's your hit Mussolini.
And did you ever talk to your brother about his experiences during the war? Did you guys
No,
ever talk to each other about it?
no. My brother Tony gave me a little experience. In fact, there was about 10 guys from the state prison of California volunteered to go overseas with my brother Tony. And my brother Tony fired a rifle, but not a BR. So when they sent him overseas, they gave him, this is your weapon, BR. My brother said, I never had that rifle before. Well, that's your weapon. You're going overseas.
Germany, right?
You know what I mean? Went to Germany. So my brother Tony had a BR. Went overseas. These guys get scot-free. They get to come home as civilian. They survive. The guys that volunteered for the state prison, they volunteered to go overseas. If they come back, they give them the discharge. They give them a civilian green light. Like my brother Tony, his colored guys hauling ammunition up to the front. It didn't stop. So my brother Tony had a BR. He stopped one and said, listen, I got a BR and my clip, a big one. I got about 7 clips in my belt. He said, you guys don't stop. I'm gonna open and take in fact, my BR is full of oil. I have to clean it out. I'll clean it out on you guys. So when the BR guy hauling ammunition, his colored guy, my brother put that click on it. The colored guy told my brother, I hears you, I hears you. I said, I'm glad you did. You tell your buddies they don't stop here. On the open, clear my rifle. BR is not very clean. I clear the barrel and everything. They all stop. That's it. He convinced that colored guy that my brother meant business. He said, haul, you better haul. He had 7 clips in his belt, plus 1 in the BR. And he said his BR needs lube job or something to take care of it. And they stopped.
So what did you do in the years following the war? You mentioned that you had malaria for about a year.
After I got out of the service, I got malaria.
Correct.
Not when I was in, after I got.
That's what I'm asking. After you returned home.
Yes. The doctors had to take care of me. I was white, yellow, and everything. I was sicker than a dog.
And it took you about a year to recover.
Yeah, it took a whole year to get back on track.
And you had to put weight back on as well.
Yeah, but doctors had to help me because I never experienced that before in my life.
How long did it take you to be able to start eating normal food again?
About a year after that. But I was real sick for the whole year. I was real sick.
But to where you could eat something without throwing up.
That's right. And I was throwing up all the time. I had malaria, that's all. It's an ugly experience for the guys that have it. I had it after I got out of the service, not when I was in it, after I got out.
And how did it feel to be able to sleep in a bed and take a shower and brush your teeth? And
nothing like it. Back to civilian life is great. We never, in the service, we didn't get brush our teeth. We were too busy trying to stay alive. We had time to brush our teeth, you know what I mean? You survive a day at a time. You had time to brush your teeth. Unless you was in a camp or in a company, it's all right. But on the open, yeah, we got time to brush your teeth. Just trying to survive, that's all.
Where did your ship land when you got home?
What?
Where did your ship land when you got home?
What do you mean, honey?
The ship landed here in San Pedro, remember?
Yes, I was real sick. Yeah, I remember that.
The troop ship.
The troop ship landed in San Pedro, right?
Yes.
And then somebody notified your parents?
Yes, I was real sick.
Remember when they notified your parents when your troop ship landed in the port?
San Pedro.
San Pedro, remember it landed in the harbor and you guys sat there for a while?
Yeah. Yeah, I was sick. I got sick after I got out of the service, Tom and Delia. I got sick after I got out of the service. That's the worst part about it. Now I was in the service, I was out of the service, got malaria.
So you have a deep appreciation for the country we live in today.
Oh yeah, sure. They
Uh,
saved my life. The country saved my life. My buddies. Well, stick together, go up or go down together. That's it. That's the attitude we all had. When you go to combat, you go as a group and hope you survive. That's it. You protect each other and give it your best shot. That's it. That's all you can do every day. That's what we did to survive.
so how lucky are we to live in a country like the U.S.?
Very lucky. Our country didn't survive. You had to go over there, fight the Japs. Or you had to go overseas to fight them. You know what I mean? Not in your own country, you know. You had to go over there. That's the difference. You had to go overseas to fight the war, not here. That's the best part. Your parents, your relatives, everybody's here, they're off the hook. You had to go, like I did. I had no choice. That's it. Like you said, change pants. Wear the pants 2 years, whatever, that's it. What you're wearing, that's it. There's a lake or something, we got all wet. We enjoy that like a quick shower. It dries with the heat and everything, but you got wet. You know, experienced something you never get a chance to do that, and it didn't happen. Always remember that. Thank God that I survived, that's all. And my buddies, the ones that survived, I don't know. A lot of friends of mine, I don't know who they were, but we all stick together like brothers, that's it. Go up, you come down together, that's it.
Do you
That's that.
remember? Do you remember what one of the toughest days for you was? What one of the hardest days you experienced was?
Uh, I think that, no, the snipers is the hardest. It's bad enough fighting Japs, but the snipers are all over the place. You have to know where they're at. You have no idea where they're at. They're taking pop shots at you.
So they're shooting at you, and you have no idea.
No idea where they're located.
So you don't know where to hide.
Where to hide. They know you're there. They're taking pop shots, but you don't know where they're at. They're hiding, taking pop shots. You hope they don't hit you, but that's it. That's the chance you take when the sniper's out there. You don't know what he's going to do.
And did you guys experience any bonsai attacks?
No, I never did. But there was enough jabs. You need that bonsai. There was plenty of them. They wanted to get out like we did, but they got caught. They had the Japanese army told them to stay there, fight, take over the place, like they did in Guadalcanal. They wanted to bury the Marines, and Marines paid back to put a little airstrip. That's it. Put ice on the cake. That's it.
And you already mentioned that the happiest day was when the war had ended.
That's right. The second bomb.
The second bomb.
They said the war's over. I got real happy, and then Uncle Sam telegraphed to my folks that we will arrive in the United States, but it didn't say where. So this friend of mine, he called my mom and said, "Louis here with me in San Pedro."
What berth was that, Dad?
Huh?
TI 233, Trummer Island.
Tom Island. What do you mean? No.
That's where your ship docked.
Oh,
You didn't
no.
get off the ship.
I got off the ship in San Pedro, and there was no room to get discharged, so they took me in a train to Riverside. The Italian prisoners they had. It was a steak dinner. We threw it up, milk, everything civilian. We threw it all up. We couldn't drink it.
So you were already close to home, and then they took you out to Riverside.
To give us that treat, steak and everything. Hey,
And you would have just preferred to go home with your
I'd
family.
rather go home and forget that steak. But anyway, we go with the steak. Everything came up.
Yeah.
Like I said, we ate 2.5 years sea ration. Our stomach got this
And
small.
what's in a sea ration? What type of food are you eating?
Vegetables and corned beef hash and
And how
just
delicious is that?
food. You put it away. That's it. That's why I look at it. You eat it. You get used to that 2.5 years eating sea ration. Then they give you a carton of milk. You like milk, but you can't hold it. Hey, comes out. Everything comes out on you.
So after you recovered from being sick with malaria and you
Yes.
were able to put weight back on, I'm assuming you eventually got a job.
Yes, I got a job. Oh, I got a job for Smart and Final. Worked for him 48 years.
And what were you doing for them?
When I first hired on, the lady said, Mr. Manzo said, don't get your hopes high. You're not a regular worker, you're just temporary. I said, okay. So the regulars used to brag that they were regulars. I worked every day. I'd be laid off any days, I just go to work every day. That's the attitude I had. Just do the best I can, that's it. The guys that were regulars used to brag, I'm a regular. I just go day at a time. I worked for them 48 years. I started here in Wilmington by the post office, by the red streetcar, and the lady said, don't get your hopes, you're not a regular. I said, okay. So I worked for 48 years.
And where did you meet your wife?
I met my wife at Redondo dance. Redondo used to have Latin dance and all that. That's where I met her. Just by coincidence, I met her, we got acquainted, and she became my girlfriend, and I got married.
So you were there to go dancing, and she was there to go dancing.
That's right. I enjoyed dancing. So
she caught your eye?
yeah, I guess I was from Wilmington. I was 27 years old when I got married. And she was 18 or 19 when she got married with here in Pedro. In fact, that's when he got married. I was 27. My mother's birthday was the 27th of July, and that's when I got married, at 28. At 28. And here in Pedro, the old church, and I always remember that.
So how long you guys been married for?
We just got 2 weeks ago. We're married for 62 years. So
Congratulations.
the priest from Holy Trinity came over and remarried us. And the priest was a little young. He had a Bronze Star too, like I did, like in the Army. And he enjoyed all the people. There were about 62 people came over my house to see the marriage of my wife and I. Been married 62 years. And the priest was real happy with that. So.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulated me, and he liked all the people that were there. And in fact, my son Larry put it on the Facebook, so a lot of people got to see that on the Facebook, that the marriage we had over my house.
So what advice would you give for a lasting marriage of 62 years?
Well,
how do you make that work?
That priest that married us, he had a Bronze Star like I did. He was in the service. He got a Bronze Star. I told him I got one too. I told him how I got mine, and he got one too. So we got along good.
But I'm asking you, what advice would you give to younger couples? I've only been married for a year and a half. So how do you make a marriage last for 62 years?
Well, you stick together. You have your ups and downs, but stay together. That's how we did it. Staying together.
And you guys had a few children.
Oh yeah, we have my daughter and 3 sons. My daughter wanted a baby sister. She got 3 baby brothers. So they all like her like a big sister. She likes them like little brothers. So they got along beautiful.
And do you have any grandchildren or great-grandchildren?
Yes, I have grandchildren. Yeah, my daughter's kids, they're grandchildren. I got a lot of them. But it's nice, very nice. In fact, when my folks came from Mexico, have a tradition. Sometimes the priest comes to the house, and sometimes they send the priest home. The parents of the girl don't want their daughter to get married anyway, tell the priest to go home. But in my case, my dad said, you stay home, we'll let you know how the outcome is. So they came visit my wife's parents here in Pedro, and they asked my wife, her mother asked her, when do you plan to get married with Louis? She came out and said the 28th of July. That's it. I had to wait. So I said, hey, Louis, let's go play pool. I kept my mouth shut. I did all kind of excuse. I didn't say nothing. Because my brother Tony, a year younger than me, year and a half younger than me, he's going to get married, but his father-in-law died that year. So his mother, his wife told my folks she could get married a year after. If they still want to get married, they can do that, okay? But sometimes the parents don't like the priest to marry their daughter. They just tell them to go home. You can come in the house, to go home to church, whatever, you know what I mean? It's a tradition. From Mexico, they have that. So my dad, my mom and dad came home and said, Louis, Felia's mom said, ask her when she wanted to get married, the 28th of July. That was it. That's the best part.
So the last question I have for you is, just in general, if you had any wisdom or advice that you could offer to my generation or future generations, what would that be?
Talk things over. Talk things over. Sometimes you get out of line, or both of you have to get it together and regroup and start all over again. That's my opinion.
Communication.
Yeah, that's it. Communication, that's all. Communicate and have talks on this and that and iron things out. You have to talk it up, that's all. That's my opinion. That's what we did. You have to do that. It can't be a one-side deal. It has to be two sides. Him and her.
Excellent.
That's my opinion.
So clarify for me when your father was talking about the post office and the grenades.
My dad was actually he was on duty watching the post, the front gate. So that night there was a couple soldiers that wanted to go into town drinking, and so my dad warned them, make sure you know the password before you come back in. If you don't know the password and you come late at night, you could get injured or something could happen. So my dad was watching. He was on guard when his partner walked away, so my dad was by himself. He had a case of grenades. There was movement out there, and my dad kept asking. He kept saying Diana for the password, and the password was Diana Durbin. My dad kept saying Diana, and the Japanese soldiers were mocking him, just repeating what my dad was saying. They kept saying Diana, Diana. So my dad gave him one more warning, and then my dad just threw grenades out there. And, when the sun came up, there was dead Japanese soldiers. And then the guys that went into town came back and asked my dad, what happened here, Louis? My dad goes, that could have been you guys if you didn't know the password.
Got it. So he wasn't guarding a post office, he was guarding his post.
He was guarding his post, at the gate.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so my dad, story he touched on is when he arrived in the port of LA, Terminal Island 233, on a troop ship.
After the war ended.
After the war ended, he arrived home, and at that time, there was no contacting family to let you know you were home. My dad's childhood friend was also in the Army as well, Dickie Flores, and Dickie Flores told my dad, hey, I'm going to let your parents know that we're back home. I'm going to tell my parents and your parents we're back home. So there was a wildcat strike at the time with the longshoremen, so they were being detained. They couldn't get off the ship for 3 days. So my dad was anxious to get off, but so my dad's friend snuck off the boat by climbing down the line of the ship, running into Wilmington to notify my dad's parents, or my grandparents, that my dad was home safe and he was on Terminal Island. So at that time, my grandparents, my grandmother made burritos and all kinds of food and brought in, and my grandma and grandpa arrived at the dock, and they were actually, they got permission to go on the ramp to give the food and give my dad a hug when he arrived. So my dad was really happy to see him. On one other note, when my dad came back from the war, he told me and my brothers and sister that for 3 or 4 or 5 months, he didn't want to speak to anybody. He was really emotionally distraught from the war. So he stayed in his room, and anything that came out of his word was a cuss word. So the war's not a good thing, and it really scarred him. So he couldn't talk. Anything that came out of his mouth at the time was a cuss word. So he just stayed in his room for a couple of months. Didn't want to speak to anybody. But I just wanted to touch on that.
And going back to the him returning home and meeting his parents again for the first time, you mentioned that your grandmother had made burritos, and I believe he said that he took the burritos and passed them out to all of his.
Correct. Instead of my dad eating the burritos, he passed it out to his friends or the guys around him. That's what he did. He was just happy to see his parents. He didn't care about the food. He just wanted to give it to his friends, and that's how my dad is. He's got a big heart.
Anything else?
I'm pretty sure that's basically we touched on there.
Okay.
Yeah.